Hi, this is Destiny. Good evening, good morning, good night, good day, good afternoon to all you beautiful souls out there, wherever you may be across this wonderful and beautiful globe. Hi, I am Destiny Forever Walks. That is my YouTube channel, and I invite you to come on over and spend some time getting to know Destiny, getting to know about my spiritual awakening, getting to know about my spiritual journey, and learning more about me, who I truly am. Today, we're going to talk about another topic. What I am on this platform to do is to inspire, to motivate, and to encourage you to become your greater and higher self, to become the best version of who the creator of this universe, God, created for you to be. So, I'm here tonight to talk to you on this topic, letting go of that person that you thought you were. And what I do here, I just throw out information to give you a little something to think about. We have to start thinking. We have to start sitting in meditation in a place of stillness and quietness so we can hear from the divine creative God of the universe, so we can make that true connection to our Godness and the God within us. I'll repeat that again. We have to make that true connection to our Goddess as well as the God within us. I'm going to jump into this. This is just a little something to think about. The topic is letting go of that person you thought you were. And guys, listen, I'm going to talk to you like just from heart to heart talk. You know, the knowledge of the past, it stays with us. But to let go of it is to release the images and the emotions, as well as the grudges and the fears and the clingings and all of the disappointments of the past that bind our spirit. But you know, in order to be who you are, then you must be willing to let go of who you think you are. And you remember, probably was like, but that's not, I never thought about there was another me. There is another you, there's another me. That's that lower you, that lower me, and then that's our higher selves. But our perception of self is a mental construct, and it does not represent who we really are. So, the image of the self is formed to preserve your position in the world, and that indicates who you represent. And from the moment of birth, guess what happens? We identify our human form, and we build an identity around that. So, as we continue to grow and get older, and as we mature from our childhood to our adulthood, then this image is reinforced for the rest of our lives. And that's why we get so far off, like, you know, what is my purpose? Why I am on this planet? Why was I created? Because we have images from the past playing in our heads. Mostly they give us false scenarios of who we are, false identities. But yet our lives are nothing more than the accumulation of past conditioning. And you are not who you are today as a result of your past, but because of your past. Now, by letting go of who you used to be, you allow the authentic self to emerge. And instead of concealing it behind an image or behind an imagined self. So this is what happens here. The more we realize that most of our views of ourselves, of others, and of the presumed limits regarding our talents, our health, and our happiness were mindlessly accepted by us at a very early time in our lives. And so the more we open up to realization that these two can change. And all we need to do is to begin the process that is called mindful. We have to become mindful of the present moment that we are living in. So if you discard your identity, then what is left? Think about that. If you discard your identity, then what is left? I'm going to tell you right here. What is left is the core self, the deepest part of your spiritual being. How do you recognize this self? It has been with you throughout all your eternity. And while you identify with your body and with your mind as separate, that is what disconnects you from your true self. So what happens is that we ignore our feelings by suppressing our emotions to disassociate us from those painful moments that we don't want to experience. And then our lives fall apart. And then we fail to see the writing on the wall, despite the obvious signs that we turn a blind eye to. And that's why we end up getting deeper and deeper into a place that is definitely not who the Creator God created us to be. We become detached from our true selves, as well as detached and disconnected from the divine source, your higher power, the Creator God of the universe. But this is why I'm talking to you today, guys, and please listen to Destiny. I want you to recognize your primary state is not one of anxiety, it's not one of fear, and it's definitely not one of stress. These are acquired states that is shaped through your environment. This is where you pick up these patterns, these forms, these habits, these behaviors. It's from the environment that you're living in. A child knows nothing of these ideals until attained through its learning. And we are the only simple, pure awareness of the core of our being. So this is what happened. And this is what we need to do. We need to be vigilant against identifying with equivalent labels, since it likes our evolution as a spiritual being. And then we have to erect a wall around us. So let me give you an example here. Like, think of a baby elephant that's teetered to a state. And that state is grounded deep into the ground. And that baby elephant is attached to that state. It's been held there. So while it matures to full size, it remains unaware of its potential because it never experienced that it could do greater things than just being tied to that stake in the ground. But as growing bigger and bigger, it still has no idea the power, the strength, the potentials. Having accepted its limitations from an early age, because that's how it was programmed. And that's how humans are programmed as well. When we never experience or reach out to go beyond than the things that is in front of us, and experience that there's a greater, a stronger, and a better, and a higher, and a more productive you, then you will stay grounded to that small level. You will never grow in knowledge, wisdom, or strength, or power. So similarly, we cannot assume our soul character will carry us through life and not be receptive to the change. So what we do, we must transform to cultivate our strengths. And it's through then experiencing the pain that life offers, and that life will continue to offer to us. And that is an opportunity. You got to make a conscious choice every single day of your life to shed the old patterns, the old ways, the old thinkings, the old forms, whatever the old means for you. We got to learn how to start shedding those old things. So old things, I keep telling you guys, they have to die in order for new growth to begin. Your experience of pain changes relative to how you react to it. When you move toward pain, pain shrinks. When you move away from pain, pain grows. If you flee from pain, then pain pursues you like a monster in a dream. Think on these things. It makes sense. Really think on these things. But listen, letting go of who you used to be is comparable to the caterpillar's, that little caterpillar's transformation into a butterfly. There's changes, there's a step, there's processes that it has to go through before it can reach that place of transformation. But you can see there will be small steps along the way. And a lot of times we don't recognize that change is taking place and that we're moving into a higher grade of process of making a complete total transformation, just like the caterpillar into that butterfly. So change, guys, is the principle of life. We reframe change to coincide with our evolutionary development instead of regarding it as undesirable. And I hope you guys are getting what I'm saying. I'm talking to you as slow as possible, so I want to ground this into you. Because I know this is another topic. That's just getting way out there above our heads. Well, this is something I'm giving you to think about. Now listen to this. In light of all what I just said, I'm going to invite you to connect with your deepest wisdom. Whatever you say your wisdom is, whatever you believe that your wisdom may be, I am inviting you to connect with your deepest wisdom. And like the Creator God said, if any man or woman likes wisdom, then let him ask of him. Ask of God, the Creator of the universe. So if you think that I can't connect to wisdom because I don't have it, you don't have to be without wisdom. You can ask the Creator and He will give it to you without withholding that, if that's what your desire really is. So I'm inviting you to connect with your deepest wisdom. While it may sound like this new age mumbo jumbo, and people always talk about, oh, Destiny, you talking about that new age kind of stuff, and you out there into this spirituality, and you away from the religion of Christianity. You can go wherever you want to go, wherever you feel that you are being propelled to go down this path or that path. That is your business. That is the path that you feel that resonate with you. This is your true self. This is where your true self can be found. This is you living out your best and greater life and your best version that the Creator God is pulling you to. Go with the flow. Don't let people hold you back by talking about that sound like new age mumbo jumbo. At the very least, it is your connection to your spiritual essence. You're going to find the true you. You're going to find that person that you thought was you, that you thought that was you. That is not you. That was a program of your ego, of all your past forms and patterns that were created. And they gave you a fake identity, a false life, and they gave you false scenarios. They gave you all these false programmings and threw it at you, and you said, bam, and you accepted it. I accepted it. So, who is the person behind the beliefs? All those beliefs, who are that person? Who are the person behind your thoughts? Who are the person behind the ideals? And if I ask who you are, guess what you're going to do? You're going to recite a list of your past achievements. Yes, you will, because that's all you know. The past, because you have not allowed yourself to step into your newness, your divine, higher, greater self, your divine power. So all you're going to do is, if I say, who are you? You're just going to go right back to your very past achievements, where you've been in your life, what you've done in your life, what you do for a living, and all those things is past. Old things has passed away, and behold, all things has become new. People, he's telling you, the creator God, old things has to die. Because he's telling us, behold, I am going to do a new thing in you. Don't you know it? Old things are passed away. Behold, all things has become new. Why are you afraid to let go of things that no longer serve you? Why are you afraid to let go of those old things that has hurt you, has damaged you, has destroyed your life, has kept you in fear, has kept you in lies, who has hoodwinked you and bamboozled your whole life and gave you a false whole identity? It's nothing that the Creator God has defined or created you to be. So who is that person behind your beliefs? Who is that person behind your thoughts? Who's that person behind your ideals? And like I said, if I ask you to recite or give me a list of all those to answer those questions, all you're going to do is fall back on your past. So guys, listen, let me say this. It commands courage to discard the old self, since we don't know who we are or what we will become. If I let go of my past, then what am I going to fall into? Then what am I going to pick up? Or what am I going to move toward the next thing? I'm afraid. That's what most of our life is all about, fear. We're afraid of the unknown. We're afraid of things that we have never experienced. We're afraid because we don't want to get out beyond the comfort zone. So, it commands courage to discard that old self, since we don't know who we will become. But listen, as children, we adopt our self-image from trusted authorities like our parents in the beginning, and our siblings, or all our relatives who be instilling all kinds of things. And then the church get its hands on us, the pastors, the leaders, teachers, everybody, trusted authorities. We trust these people. Then we go to community meetings. We get involved in our community programs. And then we got leaders in the community. They start throwing scenarios and things that we start trusting things. Then we end up in school, and we start learning everything that the teacher is programming our minds to. But it's programming us away from our true and higher self. So we adopt all these self-image from trusted authorities. Yet though, guys, as adults, the road is assumed by us, which means having to navigate the treacherous road to discover our true self-identity. And that's why we always make it so long and hard to really find that true person, our true identity. So what if we get it wrong? That's what we're afraid of. Oh, get it wrong. I might mess up. What if we don't like who we become? See, all these things just keep programming through our minds, so we're afraid to let go of what we already know. We're afraid to let go of the things that we're so comfortable with, we're familiar with. What if change is painful and we fear pain like hell? I don't want to hurt. Sometimes we gotta hurt so we can know that once we get beyond the hurt, it's gonna get better, even much better. But what if change is painful? And we want to go back to that old former self, and 9 times out of 10, that's what we want. I don't want to hurt no more. Couple of minutes into a little pain, no, screaming, stop it, and I'd rather go back to the old former self. Could we go back? Could we go back and start living? Yes, because we have not accepted the new. We have not accepted the change. We can take refuge as long as we are moving toward the person that we wish to be. We are heading in the right direction. You understand? Let me repeat it because I want you to get it. We can take refuge as long as we are moving toward the person we wish to be. For we are heading in the right direction when we learning to let go and to accept whatever change that is coming, the new. Letting all the old just fade away and just die. But there are no assurances, people. Let me say that. There is no assurances, yet knowing pain is temporary. It is a testament to the purpose it serves. While we be not knowing who we are or what we will become. So let me say this. Pain, that thing that we fear so much and we are so afraid to just pinch our fingers or get our toe stumped. We cannot deal with pain. But pain is the universe's way of demanding that you continue to learn. The more pain that you can tolerate, people, then that's the more that you can learn. We must be very careful to avoid selling toward the journey to wholeness. People assume this. This is who I am. They assume, oh, this is who I am. This is all I ever been. This is all I'm ever going to be. See, when people assume that, you're limiting yourself from reaching your greater and higher self. So when people assume this is who I am, and they assume that I cannot change, you already done limit yourself to that place, staying in that lower place. You're never going to grow because you just spoke it. You agree with it. The negative part of that. Letting go of things that no longer serve you and just jump and take a leap. Take a quantum leap toward your greater higher self. And say, I can change. I can do this. I can become my greater higher self. And start assuming that, hey, this is all I am. This is all I ever been. This is all I ever will be. And I cannot change. When you say I cannot do anything, you won't do it. So this is enormous thinking since one's identity is fluid, enduring constant change over the course of your whole entire life. So listen, equally, character is shaped and formed from a very early age. And I've talked to you guys about your inner child. You need to go and do that inner child healing journey, because all our patterns and forms, it was formed at a very, very early age, and yet it remains malleable throughout entire life because we continue to carry on all that things and stuff in our head from the experiences that our inner child went through. So we adapt to our environment in line with our changing needs. And the individual that you knew as single in your 20s, people, it's not the same person as when you are married with children or in your 40s. That person has changed. You have changed. You weren't the same person you were 10 years ago, and you weren't the same person if you were 16, now you're 25, you're not the same person. You are continuing, you're growing every single day. Even though you're not allowing yourself to go with the flow of growing and moving to a better and higher you or new you are growing. So it's best just accept the change and grow with it. But stop adapting to the environment that is around us and to what people are programming us to and believing all the false lies and things that has been said. We adapt to our environment in line with the changing needs. So see, we got to embrace the change and move on to our higher self. The individual you knew, like I said, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that's not the same person that you are today. You need to embrace that. You need to embrace the change. You need to embrace your growth, your higher thinking, your greater thinking. You believe your character is fixed? Yes, you do. Many of us say, oh, well, this is how I am, this is how I always been, and I ain't never been anything different. I'm not going to try to change now. Well, you have already fixation your character to be programmed to that lower place. You will never allow yourself to grow any higher. So you believe your character is fixed. And this misconception, guys, is just going to stand in your way of attaining inner freedom. It's going to stand in the way of connecting to your inner child. It's going to stand in the way of you growing to your greater and higher self. And it's definitely going to stand in your way. You're becoming the greater and highest version of who the Creator God has created for you to become. You will never find freedom until you let go of all the lies, the negativity, the misconceptions, the false character, the false belief of programming you to believe you are everything that the Creator God said you were, but you were disagreeing against that. Ultimately, people, our willingness to let go of the person that we used to be is going to create, and it will create a space for that person that we have been all along. And I'm going to repeat that because I want you to get it. Listen, ultimately, people, our willingness to let go of the person we used to be creates a space for the person we have been alone waiting for a very long time. We've been waiting for that completeness, that wholesomeness, that wholeness of the internal self. And that is something I want you to think about. You got to learn letting go of that person, and you got to let go, because that's not you. On that further note, letting go of that person you thought you were, it's not a bad thing after all. It's your greatest and the best decision that you can make, because now you're ready to go into a greater, higher self and accept everything that the Creator God has said about you. Listen what He's saying. Behold, I will do a new thing in you. Old things has passed away, and behold, all things has become new. So He's telling you, let go of the old. Let go, let it die. Because I got something new, greater, and better. Accept it and believe it. On that further note, I'm out of here. I invite you, if this is your first time to Destiny Forever Walks, I invite you. If that's what you want to do, hey, subscribe to my channel. Please, I want you to do what you want to do is watch the videos. Study them carefully. Then if you like them, then hit the like button. Then you go out there and like, oh, I got some of this phenomenal, crazy, sweet, but real, genuine information I want to share with you from Destiny Forever Walks, and share my videos. I will see you guys in the next video. Namaste. I love you, and I look to see you at my next video, and I look to see you growing into your greater and higher self and your beautiful, authentic, beautiful self that the Creator God has created you to be. I will see you at the next video, whether it's at my house or yours. Namaste.